Hoi, I'm Sana, and I don't like reading fun books. We're continuing UK heatwave programming, and I thought today I could share with you some perhaps slightly unconventional summer reads. Now, of course, it is common for people to bring thrillers and crime novels and things like that to their sunny vacations or like read it in the summer, but I don't really tend to pick up things in the crime genre. Although I love to watch it, I don't really read it, but I think I have a nice selection of books that some of them skew a little bit more literary, but what they often comment is that they're a bit like dark or twisted and they are super pacey. These are the kinds of books that, depending on your reading speed, you might be able to finish in a day, but also you just don't want to put down. There are kind of different levels of distress. I'll indicate that as we go through them, but it's, worth looking up trigger warnings and stuff like that if you're planning on taking these on holiday. I think we'll start with My Sister, the Serial Killer. This is extremely pacey. It's a very quick, short read, and it has some humor in it as well. It is about a young woman whose sister keeps killing her boyfriends, and then she has to go and kind of clean up and cover it up. And this time her sister is interested in someone that I think she knows or has a crush on. I can't quite remember. Perfect summer read. Now this book is more for if you're into whodunits. And this is also YA. It is The Things We Don't See. I think for my personal taste, I prefer Savannah's other book, The Truth About Keeping Secrets. But I feel like this is more of a bring on vacation type of read. I actually brought this and read this in The New Forest last year. And this is about a girl who has her own true crime podcast. She's really invested in the disappearance of a young singer that happened 30 years ago. So she decides to travel to this remote island, work there for the summer, and try to see if she can figure out the mystery. Savannah's writing is really, really beautiful. I quite enjoyed the characters and the setting. I don't usually go for a whodunit, but I absolutely loved the kind of dark atmosphere of it, and again, that sort of summer holiday job vibe that it had. Then a little bit more into the slight fantasy realm. There's this short story collection called Salt Slow, which touches on a bunch of different topics: hauntings, bodies, obsessions. I loved the variety, very twisty and dark, and the cover kind of reminds me of a pool a little bit as well. And this is another YA. It is Hold Back the Tide. This is set in Scotland. I initially didn't realize that this was going to be historical, but it is. So it's set in a small village in Scotland where a teenage girl lives with her dad, and she's convinced that her dad killed her mother years ago, and so she kind of lives in fear every day. Then there are some other things that start happening in the town. There was sort of this a myth or a curse, something is coming. It's quite brutal, but it's very pacey, very, very atmospheric, and just a great historical adventure. The next one you'll know if you're into straight away. It's pretty well known, I think. It is Lullaby, translated from French, and it is about a young family. They have 2 kids, and I think it starts with you finding out that the nanny, who is a slightly older woman, has killed the kids. And you kind of follow the story set in an apartment in Paris. It feels voyeuristic and obsessive and claustrophobic. It also kind of shows the darker sides of even the characters who are not supposed to be the bad guys. Loved reading this, read it so quickly. It's quite short as well. The next one I think was just best read in the sweltering sun. Its companion title is definitely The Virgin Suicides. It is The Water Cure. This is my old proof copy. Even this cover is perfect. Actually, recently a new book was released that looks really, really similar to this, totally unrelated. This is the only one, I guess, that's dystopian / apocalyptic, because I didn't want to include anything COVID, end of the world related, because even though I love reading pandemic, end of the world, apocalypse related books, I thought maybe not to recommend to other people for on holiday. This is about 3 sisters who live on a small island with their parents. Well, they don't really know what's happened to the outside world. They live in a very isolated way. Their dad goes off, disappears, then their mom goes off, disappears. They're there by themselves. Maybe some guests arrive, but a lot of it is them doing these weird rituals together. There's a lot of lying out by the pool, nothing to do. It is very dark. The writing is beautiful and you really want to savor it. Absolutely loved this. I'm considering rereading it myself. The last one you actually might have seen pop up in a video I did last summer about Korean literature in translation, and it is The Disaster Tourist. And this is about a young woman who works at a disaster tourism company. So they set up trips that take people to visit locations where something awful has happened, where a volcano has erupted or like a nuclear disaster has taken place. There's basically a situation where she is sexually harassed at work, and then they sort of try and, you know, reward her / send her away on one of the trips that is newly being planned to see what it's like. It gets quite surreal as well. It's very interesting to see that interplay of kind of it being a thriller, but it also at the same time discusses like cultural phenomenon and issues and current conversations. Again, quite short, read this very quickly. A lot of it takes place on an island and it's all about tourism, obviously. So again, I think quite a good fit. So if this sounds like your thing, maybe you can pack one of those or read them in the park. I don't think I have many books like this lined up at the moment. So if you have any similar recommendations, I would be very grateful. Okay, I'm gonna stop filming this and crack a window. If everything's going to plan, I should be going on a trip up north quite soon, which there will be a video about, so keep an eye out for that. If you haven't seen it yet, I've recently uploaded a summer haul with some of the new books that I've been buying over the last few months. If you want to stay updated on my future videos, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Doei!